Good afternoon. My name is Ray. The channel's name is Ray Tales, and this is my Waterdeep Dragon Heist Campaign Diary for sessions 15 and 16. Session 15 opened up on the 20th of Marpanoth. Shenanigans Inc. was fully rested when they backtracked to find the Xanathar Guild sewer outpost that Laral Silverhand told them about the day before. SI made their way through the sewers following Varen's lead as she sought out the signs of the Xanathar Guild. SI made their way through the smelly and dirty waters below the streets of Waterdeep. They located a rusty door that marked the entrance to the hideout. Anvil kicked open the door, which swung open easily, and the door banged loudly against the wall. The startled goblins at the arrow slits were surprised when a fast and stealthy woman ran around the corner to stab one of them. The battle for the cellar complex was on. The party tore through the goblins, but started to stagnate when the Duergar moved forward, using their invisibility to remain hidden. A shield dwarf working on a mechanical beholder in the middle of the third room the party comes to was able to make his escape through a back room while the party fought the Duergar. A drunken half-ogre was quickly dispatched when he stumbled out of his room into the bloodbath. The Duergar eventually fell as the party made their way to the rear of the complex, where they met the leader of the Duergar along with his kobold attendants. The PCs decided to search the complex, and that is when Sadek was assaulted by a mimic disguised as a coat rack. She struggled a bit before yelling for help. Eventually the PCs were able to kill the strange creature. Varen was able to find a secret door that led under the sewers to another part of the complex. The room the tunnel led to stunk worse than the sewers because it was the home of several troglodyte minions of the Xanathar Guild. SI fought their way through the stinking mass of bodies and barely won the day. Eventually, they found a treasure chest guarded by a writhing mound of flesh with toothy maws and eyes spread all over its body. The creature made weird sounds that caused some of the PCs to do other things instead of what they wanted to do. SI wins the day to find a chest with 277 copper pieces, 135 silver pieces, a spherical gold beholder pendant with tiny gems for eyes worth 250 gold pieces, a spell scroll of dark vision, and a stone that they thought might be the Stone of Galore. Tired, bloody, and stinking of raw sewage and reptilian body odor, Shenanigans Inc. warily makes their way home to spend the rest of the day and the evening cleaning up and resting. The party earned 415 experience points each. Then session 16 opened up with the group recovering from the long rest on the 21st of Marpanoth. They get ready and then they head to the theater to meet Laral Silverhand. Upon arrival at the Seven Masks Theater, the party discovers the theater is run down, but still functioning. All doors are locked, but there is a sign on the front door for actors to come to the actors' entrance on the side of the building. The party enters the backstage area to see it bustling with actors and an argument between the director and the writer. An exasperated stage manager sees the characters and asks them their business. The PCs say they are here to meet with Laral Silverhand, but the stage manager takes them to Ronquan Mystery, a Shao man smoking a pipe and dressed in robes. Ronquan says he is part of the Lord's Alliance and he can speak for Laral Silverhand. The PCs are suspicious as she's not sure about this, but she proceeds to tell Ronquan they failed to find Fenris Stormcastle. Ronquan tells them that Fenris was arrested by the City Watch and they should go to the Castle Ward courthouse to see if they can talk with him. He tells the PCs they should come back when they are finished to watch the play and that he will leave tickets for them at the box office. The PCs head out to the Castle Ward courthouse. They enter the courthouse and they meet the court clerk and two guards. The court clerk tells them that if they are here for court, they should wait on the benches until someone comes for them. If they are here for other business, then what is that business? The PCs tell her that they are here to see the magistrate. The court clerk asks if they have an appointment. The party response was no. The clerk tells them that they can't see the Magister until high sun tomorrow. Anvil steps forward to sweet-talk his way past the clerk. Anvil seems a little off his speaking game today, and it might be due to the fact that he has Mistress Jackie on his mind. The court clerk tells Anvil she can look to see if there's an appointment to see the Magister today if he could do something to help her out. The clerk says this while opening one of her hands, palm outward, and rubbing it with a finger. Anvil seems perplexed, and Varen steps in to hand coins over to her. The clerk looks in her book and then motions for the guard to escort the group back to the Magister for a meeting. The team is escorted back to meet with Magister Hester Barch, a petite woman in her 70s. The PCs introduce themselves, then proceed to ask her if they can meet with Fenris Stormcastle for the good of Waterdeep. It's at this point the PCs had to tell her about the money and the situation with the Stone of Galore that they were looking for. The Magister was reluctant to let them down to talk with Fenris in his cell, but she is okay with them questioning him in her presence, in her office. The group agrees to do it. The Magister has Fenris brought up. The PCs try to question him, but he insists on having immunity for all his past crimes. The PCs and Magister Barch are reluctant to do that, but during the PC's conversations with Fenris, Magister Barch was able to obtain the location of the Stone of Galore from Fenris during that conversation. She tells the PCs where to find the stone, but some of the PCs are a little uneasy about that knowledge. The PCs thank the Magister and then leave the courthouse to head to an old tower in the dock ward. The old tower is in severe disrepair, and the metal door was swinging and clanging in the wind. Sadek looks for traps on either side of the door. She doesn't find any, so she steps inside the vestibule. As soon as she steps inside, she realizes her link to the weave has been severed, so she cannot cast any of her spells. She reports this to the group. Meanwhile, outside in the windy alleyway, Karn sends Hooty, his familiar, to look in the windows of the second floor of the tower. The owl takes flight and rises up to circle the tower. The owl sees 3 cloaked figures in the tower. One of the figures spots the owl and yells, "Get out of here!" to the other 2 figures. 2 figures leap from the window, and as soon as they clear the tower, their potion of invisibility they took earlier reactivates after leaving the anti-magic area that was in the tower. The figure that yelled takes a shot at the owl with his pistol. A loud bang, a puff of smoke, a bright muzzle flash occurs as the musket ball flies past the owl, missing it. A chase ensues along the rooftop as the PCs work together to get the rope and grappling hook out of Varen's backpack, which they use to secure to the roof of the building. They take turns climbing up the rope while trying to chase figures they cannot see, but they can certainly hear. There is back and forth as the PCs move, and as at the end of the first turn of the chase, the figures all appear at the same time as their potions wear off. Varen marks the figure with the stone with her Hunter's Mark spell. The others attack a close figure. The PCs continue to chase the other 2 figures, dodging protrusions and other obstacles on the roof. 1 figure plus the figure with the Hunter's Mark are able to jump from the roof and break away from the fight. The third one turns and fights Anvil, Sadek, and Zendrin. At one point, the last figure looks at the 3 friends, then says, "Tell the captain I did my best." And then he shot himself in the head with his gun. Meanwhile, Varen yells that she can track the figure with the stone for an hour as she follows the path of the figure. Karn gets Hooty to locate and follow Varen as he and the others follow behind. The next session will pick up with Varen leading the group to the location of the figure she had Hunters marked. Each of the PCs earned 220 experience points, and tomorrow's session should be the finale.